Now I'm ready to come in with the more intense colors. This happens to be alizarin crimson, a color that will go all the way to a value 9 if I'm working on dry paper. My paper's very wet, so obviously I'm not going to be having that luxury yet. But I can still come in, and on top of some of my Quin orange, I can put this color and make it much darker. Again, I'm always thinking about connecting it. Okay, now I'm going to have a little fun adding some textural devices. One of the first devices I'm going to add is my premium quality saran wrap. So I'm just going to pull some out, and I don't want these to be very large pieces, just little pieces. So I'm going to break them up, and one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to place these down partly in the light and partly in the dark. And as I place them, they're going to create textures and directional movement. See how that's funneling in now? If I take another little piece, I can start here and start to funnel that shape down here. Over here, I can place it. And see, when it's in a dark area, it becomes darker. When it's in a light area, it still becomes darker, but it's good to have it in light and dark areas. Now your paper frequently it'll stretch, and it'll create some interesting little puddles like there. So just give it a chance to equalize, tip it around. I always lift the paper, first the long way, then the short way, and that usually gets it to lay flat. Okay, I'm going to continue working these shapes, and they're going to follow my cruciform composition. They're going to remain partly in the light, partly in the dark. And they're just little pieces. Don't put large pieces. They're just little pieces with little spaces in between. And you'll see why I left spaces in between in a few minutes. So as you can see, I've created a path of movement, connecting the edge, connecting to some of these interesting shapes, to the edge, up to the edge. So now I'm going to take and go darker again. So I'm going to take some of my quinacridone burnt orange, my alizarin crimson, and I'm going to make this into a very rich, and I'm going to add some permanent magenta now, a little bit of cool color. And I'm going to have this nice darker value, very deep, very rich. And now the fun's going to start. I'm going to take, in tipping this, I'm going to add this color. Now I don't lift up the plastic, I just put it there and let it run. Here's another one. Put the color and let it run. See, and as long as your paper is wet, it'll just flow right under there. Look how exciting. So here too, I'm going to pick up the color and just let it roll under here. And what I'm doing now is creating some darks and some directional movement with this darker value. And I'm trying to connect it. One shape to the next, one shape to the edge of the paper. Let's try to get even darker. This time I'm going to take my alizarin crimson, a little permanent magenta, and a little French ultramarine blue. Ooh, now we're looking, now it's dark. And the same thing, we're just going to put this color, I'm using a fairly good sized round brush, and I've got these little entrances where I can sneak the color into that, under that plastic. This time we'll go even darker. And I can go on either side. If it doesn't work on one side, I might just try it on the other. And then of course gravity is doing a lot of the work for me. As I place this color, and it moves because of the gravity. That's kind of cool. So I want that dark over here. So I'll pick up this color and just roll it underneath. Now if your paper is starting to dry or it doesn't want to move, sometimes, look at that, just adding a little spray of water will help it to move.